I'm a professor in the chemistry department at Cambridge, and I work on lithium-ion batteries and energy technology in general. So it's my pleasure to be a member of the Samsung Advisory Board, and I look forward to working with fellow board members, members of Samsung and the community at large to try and work on battery safety. So I look forward to making contributions to lithium-ion battery safety as a member of the team, but working closely with Samsung, my fellow advisory board members, and also using some of my own research in this area to help make a contribution in this general area of lithium-ion battery safety. Well, there are two things going on. One is that there's a need for, or there's a demand from the electronics to have batteries with higher energy density. So higher energy density means that the batteries last for longer, and then there's a tension of wanting to put them into increasingly smaller spaces, so smaller volumes. And so inevitably that comes with risks associated with the fact that you've got these highly oxidized and highly reduced materials in very close proximity. The problem with this incident is that there aren't that many actual cases of fires, and you don't want the consumers to be the ones doing the experiments and being the ones that have the safety incidents. So you want to be able to predict them in-house. So I think this incident will result in increased development of tests that will allow faulty batteries to be detected earlier on. And I mean, I think one of the also things that I think is quite exciting is the sort of beginnings of the use of big data and devising new computational methods and electronic signatures of failure that again might pick up some of these incidents beforehand. I think that's going to be, the results that come out of these sort of studies will be useful for Samsung, but it will also be useful for the whole industry.
I'm Pierre Taylor. I'm a professor in material science and engineering at UC Berkeley. So our role was not to specifically look at tests, but to give Samsung sort of general advice how they should think about how they should analyze failure modes, how they should think about failure in the future. You know, we can fix the known problems today, but what about the unknowns that might appear in the future? So we've given mostly that sort of broad level advice. Yeah, I think the Samsung team is very receptive to our ideas. It's an ongoing process in working with them, and so I think we look forward to continue that process with them in the future. Well, I think the scale of it is unprecedented. The scale of the investigation that Samsung did is unprecedented. I've never seen such a large battery of tests performed, no pun intended. They tested hundreds of thousands of cells to actually repeatedly look at what causes the failure, and I think that has led to a pretty good understanding of what it does. They've used external organizations that largely seem to confirm that, so I think it's quite unprecedented. So what happened was Samsung took a lot of the recalled 7 Note phones and actually took several hundred thousands of them and put them through a battery of tests to try to reproduce the failure, which they were successful in. They also took tens of thousands of separate cells to reproduce the failure, which they were also able to do. And again, that has led now to in my opinion, an unprecedented set of data from which we can learn what caused the failure. Even with an incident like the Note, the failure rate is low. It's 1 out of tens of thousands. Most of the time we all carry lithium-ion batteries around and they are safe, but we should remain vigilant to keep on improving that safety and enforcing it. I think, you know, lithium-ion batteries are used, of course, by many companies, right? Not just Samsung, and I think there is always a awareness that because of their high energy content, one should be cautious with them. On the other hand, we also want that high energy content because it's to our benefit. So I think that Samsung and other companies are well aware of that, are very vigilant about safety issues. And I think that's borne out with the fact that in the end, the incident rate with lithium-ion batteries is very small.
I'm Yi Cui. I'm a professor of material science at Stanford University. I'm glad to join in the Samsung Battery Advisory Group to look at the safety issue. I'm impressed by how much effort Samsung put in during this root cause analysis. I look forward to helping Samsung to improve the battery safety for their future products. I'm pretty confident the root cause analysis has been really thorough. This tremendous effort Samsung putting it in, the outcome seems very reasonable. Samsung has put in effort in revealing the data to us from materials, battery structure, internal structure to outside packaging, to how the battery device is put into the phone. The testing has going from the battery to the whole cell phone device. All this data analysis internally and externally seem to be very convincing. From the amount of resources Samsung putting it in and the correlation between the root cause and the battery instance, I think consumers should have high confidence on the future product of Samsung, the safety they want to ensure. I think using 5 months or even longer time, if they want to do that, it's necessary to do the full root cause analysis. So I'm not surprised they want to use 5 months this long to come to the conclusion what causes the battery instance. They are very careful, and I think the high standard is always important. The safety challenge of lithium-ion battery is not only Samsung's challenge, it's the whole industry's challenge. Not only the batteries industry challenge, but also the industry which use batteries as the power sources for their devices. So this will range from your cell phone, laptops, drone device, all kind of toys, to electrical vehicles. Yeah, the root cause analysis Samsung has been conducting, the outcome of that, the processing of doing that will have impact beyond just Samsung itself, will help the whole industry broadly to increase the safety of the batteries.